It's time for the 259 Show, a weekly podcast that can be found on our website at www.the259show.com or on Facebook and Twitter at the 259 Show. Today's hosts are Joe Peachy.
No, I haven't contacted Michelle because she'd be on the next flight to New York City. So.
Mike Vincelli.
Chelsea's not a girl. This is the name of a soccer club.
Thank you, Chelsea. Broke my heart.
Tyler Diedrich.
I wonder if they have waffles. Ha ha ha. They do.
And Andy Fowler.
Out of all of us here, I feel like I'm balding the most. I got a big spot up on top, and by growing it out, I feel like I'm trying to cover it.
Here's your host, Andy Fowler.
Oh, welcome to the 259 Show Live, episode number 54, the Saturday, January 13th edition, 2017. The whole crew is here. Tyler Diedrich, Mike Vincelli, and Joe Peachy joining us through the Flower City Printing Hotline from Astoria, New York. How's everybody doing?
Are we live right now?
We are live.
We're live.
Yeah, and like the afternoon.
Saturday afternoon. We've been really playing with the start time lately on Saturdays.
And last week when we didn't have an episode, it seemed like our fans cared.
Well, everyone was stuck inside last week.
Same thing with this weekend,
They're
right?
still stuck inside.
That's how we knew we made it, Drew.
There was a little annoyance.
We have a following. Who gets a
Two
little
people
upset.
cared.
If you go back to my Facebook post from the station, from the show account last week, there was a little annoyed sarcasm in it.
A little bit? Shocking.
When I saw that, I didn't even need to look at the little browser that told me who wrote it. I was like, this has got Tyler Dietrich's handwriting all over
I
it.
think Tyler and Drew are the only one that posts for the show.
Yeah.
Joe, you and I basically do nothing for the show.
I don't even know how to use MySpace anymore, Mike.
We're just personalities.
Now, last week we were scheduled to go, was a three-man crew last Saturday?
Dude, we got hit hard.
Yeah, you and I both
You and I got hit hard last week.
Last
You
week,
guys were both on the can, and we couldn't do the show.
we were going to do a midweek episode last week, and Mike Vincelli texts us halfway through the week and says, I'm out. I'm like, what do you mean you're out?
My stomach
You were shot.
went through something crazy.
And I know your pain because that snow day last week, which everybody's teachers get all these snow days, whatever. No, I was in bed from 8 a.m. till 12 noon the next day. It was that bad. We were going to do a podcast then.
So basically, you would have had a sick day anyway. Now you get to keep
I would have had it.
keep that one in your back pocket.
The thing was, I got up that morning when I usually do, and it didn't hit me until 8 a.m., which I'm usually at work. So I would have made it to work, and I probably would have tried to stomach it out, and it would have been an awful situation.
And you would have hit the head hard.
Yeah, I would have
Do you know what it was?
It hit me when I got to work.
Can you pinpoint the food or beverage that you had that just, like, destroyed you, Drew?
Well, yes, I probably could. I made expired hot chocolate for Sam and I.
No way.
How expired are we talking? Like 2014 or?
Like 2000. Yeah, it was
5?
Early 2015. It was a 2-year-old expired.
And
You really think that would do it? Chocolate powder? That stuff doesn't go.
I don't know, but it's
maybe
it's like
mixed with
evaporated
milk.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't cocoa powder have like dry milk in it?
I think they have milk in there, but not much.
But Sam was sick the whole Christmas break.
Same.
A little bit different.
Okay.
Just like cold sick.
Cold sick.
But what we had was not cold sick. It was
hot sick.
Norovirus, flu, SARS.
And we
Anal canal was.
And we had all those. We had all that snow too. So I still cleared the driveway, cleared my mom's driveway, and I got home and I'm like, I'm not doing well. But yeah. So how's morale, guys? It's been a long time.
I haven't seen you guys.
Is this the first time in
Yes.
2018?
It seems like it's been since last year I've seen you guys.
We might have to check the tape. I might have said 2017 at the top of the program.
You definitely did.
Did I? Thanks for not
okay.
correcting me.
January 13th.
I'm surprised Tyler didn't correct you.
2018.
You're saving that for the end of the program. What did we learn today? It's still 2017.
There has been a lot of stuff happening since our last program 2 weeks ago.
And not just illness stuff.
Lots of stuff.
Just lots of stuff.
We got droughts ended. We got, very little communication in the last 2 weeks.
Record-breaking weather events
Yes.
at Hilton, New York.
We had one of the most bizarre weather days ever yesterday. Or was it 2 days ago? No, it was yesterday. Yeah. I can't remember anymore.
In mankind history.
Yeah.
We haven't seen each other since the college football playoffs began.
last time we came here, we didn't even think that the Bills were going to make the playoffs.
No, I remember. I remember listening back to the show on my train ride back to New York, and this is after the Bills had made the playoffs. We'll get into all that in just a minute. But I was like, wow, I actually said on this show, it would be a damn near miracle if the Buffalo Bills made the playoffs. Like, all this crazy stuff has to happen.
Mm-hmm. And Joe, you know what? Sometimes that's the key, is to give yourself low expectations, because then.
But that's the thing, Tyler. I never give myself low expectations. I always go into the preseason thinking the Bills are going to make the Super Bowl.
And there's always like a very distinct point in the year when when the Bills fans just give up and they throw the towel in. It seemed like that happened early in the season. Earlier in the season than normally does this year, but then they slowly kept themselves in the
right.
hunt.
I mean, I can go through the whole there was a point in time when the Bills were 5-2 and people were above cloud nine. There was 3 games after that when the Bills were 5-5, and we thought we were going to go.
And I think that's when everyone kind of fell off the wagon for a while.
Hold on a second here. I think we've got a college hockey game on TV. 12 minutes left in the first half. It's Syracuse 5, FSU 4 in college basketball.
You said college hockey.
Yeah, because it's so low scoring, Joe. It's 5-4.
They just scored a 3-point goal. Yeah.
One of those 3-point buckets.
Over there on the ACC network, ESPN right now, I believe.
Channel 16.
Oh, the CW. Channel 13 is covering the game there. Channel 16, the CW, Syracuse, FSU. Yeah. But a lot of things football-wise going on. A lot of businesses coming and going.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of food talk to get to today. Pet peeve of the week and popular.
We've had a lot of time to stew on some pet peeves.
We have.
Speaking of stew,
is that what did it to you?
I hate it. No.
So who wants to break our top story here today? Of course, Joe, Drew. Who wants it?
Well, I mean, I think everybody already knows. I want to hear Drew's reaction. Maybe I can share my reaction to the Buffalo Bills breaking a 17-year playoff drought.
All right, so.
That's one thing I want to clarify before we begin, because I've said this many times at work in the last couple weeks. Yes, it was 18 years since their last playoff game.
17 seasons.
It was a 17-season drought. Mm-hmm. There was some confusion on that, and I think I clarified it for everyone.
Right. So that was...
Thank God.
Thank God is right, Mike. That was the talk of all of Western New York.
Hey, semantics are important.
Tyler was calling into every sports show.
There was actually footage that we got. It was Tyler Dieter correcting Don Elhart. What is that, Tyler? 18 years.
Tyler walks in front of the camera in the 11 o'clock news.
No, it's wrong. It's wrong.
It's been 18 years.
Stop the presses. But no, so it was New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve, we were talking about it right before we came on the program. We had Sam's parents and grandmother and her sister's family over. We smoked ribs because there's only so many days we have the opportunity to do so, because smoking takes 8 to 10 hours, so you really got to commit to this. So we smoked ribs.
I feel like smoking meat is so much better in this type of environment, meaning this weather.
Yeah, so we smoked ribs. The
What'd
Bills.
You say? I like it.
The Bills didn't play until.
Keeps you warm. The smokiness of it keeps you warm, Mike.
Yeah.
The Bills didn't play until 4:30, so we ate lunch at 2:30.
4:25.
4:25. Sorry, Ty. We ate lunch at 2:35, and they left. Just left Sam and I home to watch the Bills game.
Was that what you wanted? Did you want to be around a lot of people?
I wanted to be on my couch.
It didn't matter.
I didn't care who was around.
Okay.
Watched the first half, thrilled. And pretty much in the third quarter, I mean, Joe and I were texting back and forth. I was texting with a couple people. In the third quarter, I really paid more attention to the game cast for the Bengals. I mean, anybody who saw Week 17 of the Bills Dolphins game, the Dolphins made a run for it in the second half. And
it was very similar to the first meeting just 2 weeks before in that regard.
So we were texting back and forth, this isn't going to happen, blah, blah, blah. And then fortunately, CBS, after the Bills won, brought the Cincinnati game. And it was nuts.
Right. So
watching the end of the Cincinnati game, where everybody in Western New York that is a Bills fan temporarily became Bengal fans.
And no, I'm sorry, not temporarily. I believe that I still am a Bengals fan, and Andy Dalton is probably the second greatest quarterback in NFL history behind Jim Kelly. But I guess, Drew, what I want to hear more of is your reaction. So here's what going through my mind. So that night we were going to go to a party at my brother's house, And so my dad and I were watching the Bills game. The Bills game is over, and we're like, okay, let's head over to Mike's. So I've got the NFL Sunday Ticket. I get it through my phone and my iPad, so I can watch the games down here in New York. And so I'm watching the Bengals game on my phone, and we're in the car, and it was not going well. The Ravens had scored a touchdown. The Bengals were as inept as they ever could be, and so when on the Bengals' last drive, I turned it off because I was like, I don't want to watch this, right? Because I know this story, I know what's going to happen. So I'm just sitting in the car, dropping many F-bombs and just kind of like stewing in all of the Bills' unglory because I'm just like, same season, different story.
And
what else is new?
The Bengals really controlled that game too until
they were up by 2 touchdowns for most
They were
of
up by
the
2
game.
scores.
23-6.
24-10.
They're up by 2 touchdowns in that game, and the thing that sucks is the Ravens scored on just crazy touchdowns. Like I know one of the running backs was like 4th and 6, and he's bottled up in the back of the backfield. He gets away and he scores on a 30-yard touchdown run.
And it seems like that both the Bills game and the Bengals game kind of followed the same timeline, where the Bills and the Bengals were both leading by a lot, dominating the game, and then halftime, and then it starts to go downhill together. And at one point, as you mentioned, the Ravens got up.
The Ravens were down by one. It was like 17-10. They were driving, and then they threw a long pick six.
Yeah.
So the Bengals were all of a sudden up by 2 scores.
But even the play going into half, the Ravens scored a touchdown right going into halftime too. Which
Right, well, and then after
dampened the fire.
Exactly. So it's just like there was points and times during the Bills game watching and checking up on the Bengals-Ravens game where I was like, the Bills are definitely going to the playoffs. Like, this is actually going to happen. And there'd be points where I was like, yeah, what am I thinking? Like, there's no way they're going. Mm-hmm. So I turned the game off, and this is on the Bengals' last drive. And we're listening to 550 WGR. And I'm just like, I'm barely listening, right? Because I'm just like pissed off.
So were you actually listening to the radio broadcast or just?
We were listening to the radio broadcast of Howard Simon on WGR, and he was not play-by-playing the Bengals-Ravens game, but he was giving updates.
Oh.
And so all of a sudden, he says, the Bengals just scored a touchdown. On 4th and 12, the Bengals just scored a touchdown. And you could hear everyone in their studio just losing their mind, like producers, guys behind the glass, just going crazy. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm in shock. I'm like, that's got to be a joke. There's no way. And then all of a sudden, I get a text from, like, Ryan Bacchus, and he's like, dude, this is unbelievable. So I call Ryan, and I'm, like, swearing, and I'm crying, and I'm going nuts. And I call my brother, and I call Greg, and I call Drew. And
Joe, do you remember how that conversation went?
No, I don't.
Let me tell the story then.
Did you record it?
No, I should have. Because it's hilarious.
This would have been good content.
Joe called me. It might have been like 25 minutes after the Bengals won, because we were just about to leave to Sam's sister's house. They were having a New Year's Eve party, and I answered the phone. I'm like, "Hey," she's like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, "Nothing much. You?" Just played it off so nonchalantly. I think you got pissed off at me, Joe, for not being as excited.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah, because like I thought about when you answered the phone, just like screaming like a banshee, but no, my mom was
Joe,
in the car.
And I'm sure Tyler and Michael make sense for it. Joe, you've never seen me. Since I've been a season ticket holder, you've never come to a Bills game with me.
I have not.
And these guys can
attest
that I'm not over the top. I sit there with my arms folded, and I'm pissed off, and I'm yelling to myself, and just...
That's usually how I am when I watch my teams, too.
I could have told you that. Drew, I think I knew that about you, that you don't get too crazy.
I think that's just not being Italian.
Is that it? So,
that might be it right there.
So, Joe...
Joe, what you missed while you were listening to that is you missed Andy Dalton nearly throw 3 interceptions right before that touchdown.
No, that's when I turned... Like, I was like... I saw the one interception that there was an interception. Yeah, Andy Dalton threw a pick.
Yeah, to Eric Weddle. It got
called back because of pass interference. And I was like, okay, I can't even.
Joseph.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I got to interrupt.
No, please.
I'm a little confused. 17 seasons, most of your life, the Bills have a shot to make the playoffs. One game is riding on this chance of going to the playoffs. and you decide to drive over your brothers during this time.
And now wait 2 more
What
minutes.
the hell is wrong with you, dude? Are you serious?
2 more minutes.
What is the deal? No party is that important, Drew. I'm honestly questioning your fandom, man.
Oh, that's awesome.
I am very confused.
Okay.
I'm surprised,
Mike,
Big
that's
Scott.
just
Big Scott, I'm concerned. I know you're listening. What is going on in the Peachy household? I thought you were Bills fans.
Yeah, you got me upset.
I know. I like it.
Frankly, no. Honestly, it wasn't my call when my mom and dad were like getting in the car. I'm like, wait, is this?
I would have
like, there's
lost
still a game
it.
going on. But I didn't get that upset because I was able to watch the game on my phone.
I know, but still.
So
You're
if
there.
I wasn't able to watch it, then I would have been like, no, we need to wait 10 minutes.
Was your dad
But-
driving? He was just listening. Like,
He was driving, yes.
oh, dude, I don't know,
I
man.
think the way my dad works, he's a very interesting man, is he obviously cared a lot, and he was, I think, even happier than I was. But he is like, Joe, if it happens, it happens, man. Like, he's very much gives it up to God. He's like, if this is gonna happen, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Right? It's not gonna
playing the
change.
dad role.
It's not gonna change if I sit in front of the TV and lose my mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand
Like,
that.
do I wish
So-
that there was video footage of me watching Andy Dalton's touchdown? Yes.
Yeah, where was
but-
Lauren during this?
You could have
had one job.
taken my GoPro.
Yes, but
Did
does
you,
it take away from the feelings that I feel inside to this day? I think I've watched that clip like 200 times at least.
No, I'm just messing with you.
No,
you
I know,
and,
but like that's a very valid question.
but-
Like I should have watched it. man.
Honestly, I think this is probably what's the word I'm looking for? You guys weren't subconsciously. There's some subconscious fear. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You
I
guys
think
were
deep-
deep down.
I-
I think you were some fear you weren't really realizing at the time, but you're like, all right, let's just drive because you were
I think-
nervous of what was going to happen if you stayed.
Frankly, that's it, man. Like, I mean, deep down, like they've upset me so many times.
Yeah.
Like, thinking back to 2004 when we lost a bunch of third stringers, and
And it was
just-
following the exact same script. That
It was.
normally
It was
takes.
just like this is the Bills. This is what happens. Surprise, surprise.
You were guarding your
actually,
hearts.
I'm gonna make a point. And if we had lost that game, or if the Bengals had lost that game, I want to say one thing. There was a point during the Bills game that made it all okay. That I was just like, you know what? Whatever happens, this is fine. When Kyle Williams scored a rushing touchdown, I got teary-eyed. Because, like, Drew, you can attest to this. That was probably Kyle Williams' last game had they not made the playoffs.
Yes.
He's probably going to retire. He's played 13 years.
Did you see the quote he had, though, when he asked if he still had gas in the tank?
I mean, he probably does. I'm sure he'll play one more year. Just
They,
'cause
they, they asked him, Kyle, do you still have gas, or how much gas do you have left in the tank? His response was, enough to get me there.
yeah,
Perfect
like,
answer.
I like that.
Love that answer.
I mean, just everything. Like when he scored, I gave my dad a huge hug. I was like, "That's amazing." Like Kyle Williams, he's been so underrated as like a hero for the Bills. It's not even funny. Like I guess people are just realizing just how important he is to the fans. Like I got his jersey for Christmas, and I'm that jersey will go on forever. That's a jersey I can wear forever. You know,
Mr. Pork Chop himself, Kyle.
Mr. Pork Chop. He will be a Bills Wall of Fame member.
Joe,
hands down.
did you and Big Scott share a nice tender moment in the
Oh
car?
God! In the car. I was crying. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you.
How much? How much are we talking here?
Weeping
I wasn't
or like
sobbing.
just tears running down your face
It
type.
was a tears running down my face, and I was just like kind of swearing and just like saying, "Wow, I can't believe this." And it was that I posted on Twitter like 2 minutes. That was the best sports moment of my life. I know this is ridiculous, and everything that has happened in Western New York the past like week and a half is a little ridiculous, but I just think that it's that important.
I don't think so.
I
do you
mean,
mean the last week
your
and a half?
previous best moment as a Bills fan was like a 14-12 win in a random game against a bad team in 2010 when the Bills were 4-12. So
No,
The
that
Bills
was
Lions
they
game.
were 0-8, and they beat the Lions. I mean that was high up there. When we beat the Pats early in the
The comeback
2011
game?
season, yeah, that was pretty awesome. I was at the Raiders game the week before when we made another comeback. That was pretty awesome. But yeah, this hands down, like it was great because that night my Uncle Tom, who is basically the third member of my Bills Mafia, it's like my brother, my dad, and my Uncle Tom, who I always watch the games with. You know what I mean? Those are the guys who like if I had to pick 4 people to go to a Super Bowl with me, I'm sorry, Drew, but those would be my 3 people who I'd go with. You'd be number 4.
Duly noted.
Don't worry.
I appreciate it.
You'd be number 4, hands down.
All right.
Oh, Lauren, maybe. But, like,
And then
I saw him.
Michelle. So was you.
Like, dude, this is crazy. Like, it was a great moment. It was a good moment.
So that day, of course, I'm watching the game for my own sake. It's just like one more random game. Finally, get this season over with. The Dolphins seemed like they were going to treat it like a preseason game at first. They put Jay Cutler in for like one series, pulled him, and they put in this other character.
I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah. Well, they said that he was
sense.
going to play. I just didn't know he was going to come in like right away and play the entire game. He actually played okay, I thought, but
He played well. He was decent. Like, he's got some legs on him. I think he's decent.
I
He's a
wonder
good
if the result
quarterback.
would have been different if not for our 2 best offensive players not throwing hissy fits and getting tossed from the game. But
Yeah, Landry and what's your running back's name?
Kenyon Drake.
Kenny Drake. Those guys getting tossed definitely helped out a little bit.
Yeah. So anyway, I hope we can bring both of those guys back next
Now,
year.
fast forwarding to the week
Oh.
that.
I had to work that night, so I actually slept for a couple hours in the afternoon, thinking that okay, maybe I'll get another hour or 2 before I go back at 11 o'clock after that game. I could not sleep, and I also had to stay with the baby. Was having a rough time, so I had to I didn't even have time to process that the Bills are going to the playoffs.
The
I had to
baby was just as excited
Well, the
about the
baby.
Bills making the playoffs.
I didn't even have
as
time
us.
to be mad or anything about it. But so I didn't sleep. I was up from 3:40 until 8 o'clock the next morning.
Yeah,
But
so the following week, the week between week 17 and the playoff game,
You guys had to be
was
feeling good.
amazing. It was a great week.
I had to go right to work, and my whole newscast was Bills, 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 and I had to like go back and watch all these clips of Bills fans celebrating to put it on the news.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, as much as I hate the Bills, I had fun doing it because it was one of the few times in my career at Channel 13 when I've been able to do like all kinds of sports in a newscast. Probably the most.
And Tyler Diedrich, I want to thank you as a Dolphins fan. You understand my love for the Bills, but the tweet that you tweeted out, the congratulations at Joey Peaches and all the other Bills fans
First
who
off-
faithfully stuck with their team. I appreciate that. That was a good touch, my
You
friend.
didn't mention me in that tweet, Tyler.
Well, Drew, as I recall, you
Oh yeah, let's go back to the tape.
on episode
gonna bring
number,
that up.
on episode, I don't even know what episode it was. Drew Fowler, and I'm not direct quoting. I'm going to paraphrase here. I don't want the Bills to make the playoffs, Drew.
This team doesn't deserve it. I think the direct quote is this team didn't deserve it. But having said that, I think it was after the 3-game slide, or maybe they lost 4 out of 5 games or something like that.
Now, Tyler.
Although technically, I did say and other Bills fans.
Yeah.
Tyler, I do have a question.
Yes.
You know a lot of Bills fans. Some
I do.
of your best friends are Bills fans, all of them.
You know the Bills are one of the more popular teams in Western New York?
I heard that.
Okay.
The Bills are the most popular team in Western New York, and the Dolphins are second.
All right. Well,
Okay.
According to my
whatever.
research.
We know
We'll go
we
with
know you don't like the Bills. You're a Dolphins fan, but was there any part of you who kind of just got lost in the moment and found yourself rooting for the Bills to make the playoffs?
No.
Not
No.
at all.
But I never got lost in the moment because I had to I was trying to do 3
I
things at
understand.
once.
So even after the Bills had won, you were rooting for the Ravens to pull it out.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Which is surprising
Yeah.
because I think Tyler does not hate the Ravens as much as he hates the Bills, but Tyler does not like
The Ravens are my least favorite team outside of the AFC East, but it's a very far gap in between those.
Now, Tyler, I was with my friends while the Bills game and the end of the Ravens game. Your brother was there. We were all cheering on the Bills. When the Ravens, or when Cincinnati scored, we all started celebrating along with your brother Jacob, who did a nice fist bump and started screaming. I go, Jake, was that real? Because he sometimes does the sarcastic celebration. I go, yeah, I think it was.
Jake Diedrich.
So Jake
drinking Kool-Aid.
Diedrich was rooting for the Bills.
Thank you, Jacob.
I don't mean to rat you out, Jake, but
I think Jake probably hates the Patriots more at this
I
given
don't think
time.
he hates the Bills. I don't think he's around as many Bills fans as you are.
Well, and Tyler also.
His vision might be clouded right now because he's in New England.
I also think Dr. Jake's not as stubborn as you.
No, he's not.
So
No one is as stubborn as.
So he's willing to change and adapt.
Yeah.
No, there was a brief period, maybe 2 seasons, when I actually hated the Jets more than the Bills, but that changed. But anyway,
So-
I guess the only thing is for me is now I don't have to sit on pins and needles waiting for the Bills to have that moment every year when they are eliminated from the playoffs. So I don't have to. There's no pressure anymore. There's no drought anymore that we have to maintain.
You're telling me, bro.
But,
and then the one other thing that made me just like love last week was the outpouring of support that the Bills had for Andy Dalton, which was it was amazing. So Andy Dalton, if those of you who I'm sure you all know, was the quarterback of the Bengals who led the game-winning drive, and he has a foundation that supports children with disabilities in the Cincinnati area, and Buffalo Bills fans, and myself included, I donated $17. Would donate $17 increments to his foundation, and it totaled somewhere north of like $350,000. It was just that was really cool. I mean, of all the criticisms that I've given Bills Mafia over the past couple weeks, because they are ridiculous. I mean, they went down to Jacksonville acting like a bunch of baboons, but
now speaking of which,
that was pretty sweet, and that was a better testament of Bills fans than people getting slammed through tables.
Now speaking of which, my mother called me after the Bills game. And she said, "Let's go to Jacksonville." I had to talk my mother out of buying me a plane ticket to go to Jacksonville.
What? Are you nuts?
You should.
Why?
I wanted to watch it on my couch.
Drew.
Oh, Drew, man. Oh. Did you see the crowds there for the
That would have been
tailgating?
That would have been
awesome.
such a good retirement party for your mom to go to the Bills playoffs game.
You're so selfish.
Yeah,
How dare you, Drew?
how dare we not go? But
So that was a fun week.
I guess I was also rooting for the Ravens because they threw it to my man Ben Watson on that fourth down play. It was like 4th and 14. They threw like a 5-yard drag to the 37-year-old tight end, and he got
that's a play the
short.
Bills usually do. By the way,
Yeah,
No,
but
we usually throw
although
Mike
to be
Colbert.
fair, the Ravens have no offensive weapons.
No.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, how many? It was a very weak year for the AFC, as we know.
It
But-
was. I will say, like, this was the year. A year for the Bills to squeak in was this year. I mean, there's two teams that basically the AFC can put their hat on, and
I mean,
this
the,
weekend's
Steelers
games.
the Bills they were rebuilding this year.
Yeah.
But they did enough to just keep themselves in the hunt.
Relevant.
And I mean, we had they benched their starting quarterback when they were still in the playoff hunt, and that almost cost them. And just because of a strange tiebreaker where we had 4 teams with the same record, it didn't end up hurting them.
it was very surprising that the Chargers, who beat the Bills, finished with the same record as the Bills, but did not get into the playoffs.
Yeah, thank
The
you.
Bills did.
Thank you, 3 or more
Thanks,
team
thank-
tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Thanks, Obama.
Yes, thank you. Obama.
So we get through a week, and as much as I don't like the Bills, it was exciting to be able to do so much sports in my newscast for a while. I put a lot of effort into that 5 a.m. show the morning right after on New Year's Day. Anywho,
So that aside, and we can get into this more when we do more sports talk. But Drew, is Tyrod Taylor the quarterback of the Bills next year?
I first want to make mention that the noise you hear in the background is the sub pump of the 259 studio running constantly due to the inclement weather we've had the last couple days. That's like the 5th or 6th time it's gone off that I've noticed. Tyrod Taylor, is he the future of the Buffalo Bills quarterback? I don't think we have enough airtime.
there has been no indication
First
at all
off-
that they're not getting rid of him.
First off, is he still alive? He took a nasty hit at the end of the Jacksonville game.
He was at the Toronto
beat
Raptors basketball game
You're right.
several minutes
So
ago.
he's made a public appearance, but he was murdered
That was
out
nasty.
there.
He was on the field for like 5 good minutes.
Yeah, and it didn't look like he knew where he was
No.
either.
I personally am like, look, I went to Tyrod's defense a couple weeks ago, and I like him a lot as a person, and I think he's an average quarterback, but we need to draft a quarterback. I think that is of paramount. Like, just we need to do it. Like, would I be fine with him playing again next year with a first round top 10 pick waiting behind him? Yes, I would totally be fine with that. But if we go into the season with Tyrod and no one else, or if we just get rid of Tyrod and go with Nathan Peterman, then bad things are happening.
I'm trying to pick up a
He
name.
misses a lot of open guys.
He does.
or he
he's
just doesn't
not-
throw to him too.
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
He doesn't see them.
He
He also
doesn't
does
throw-
miss a lot. He misses quite a bit.
You know what
of
you're getting
passing.
with him. He's not going to make mistakes. He'll make plays with his feet, but
Right.
the big plays that you need are few and far between. It's-
He's
Even-
got
even that last drive.
He throws a lot of outs. He throws a lot of curls. He doesn't throw over the middle. And
Oh.
our best receiver is
He's-
Charles
he's
Clay,
limited.
who needs to be
So-
caught the ball over the middle.
We got to talk about the actual playoff game itself. I mean, I'm sure that most Bills fans are thrilled with the way the season went, breaking the playoff drought and whatnot, but a game that was very winnable that slipped away.
The thing was, that game, they put
Go ahead, Drew.
They've put many drives together, 40, 50, 55-yard drives together. They just started at the 5 or 10 every time. No. They couldn't get it into field goal range.
Honestly, what killed you guys was at the end of the first half, that ridiculous series of play calls when you guys got that, what was it, the personal foul, and you guys were on the 1.5.
I hate that more than anything in
ran the ball 4 times.
I hate that. First and goal at the 1, you throw a fade. I've seen it so many times with Notre Dame and other teams. I hate that. That's my least favorite.
I think that was the turning point of the game, because then Jacksonville got the ball back, didn't they? And they tied it up.
So I think that was
the turning point of the game.
Like I totally agree. I mean, when you got the ball 1st and 1, the thing that I couldn't stand about the Bills this year is, and actually we just got rid of Rick Dennison, so this is probably going to hopefully fix that. Is so many times during pivotal moments, I wouldn't mind Shula because he's familiar with McDermott.
Don or Mike,
bring them both in. We wouldn't give the ball to most of the time best player on the field on either side of the ball in pivotal moments, or he wouldn't be on the field. On 3rd and 6s, Mike Tolbert would be in the backfield.
That's the one situation you should give the ball to Mike Tolbert.
Or Kyle Williams. One for one.
He was efficient in his goal line carries this year.
Yeah. So it would just baffle my mind that give the ball to Shady McCoy.
Yeah, go to your best player.
Put Pat DeMarco in front of him and bring 2 more linemen on the field as eligible receivers, and he's shifty enough that he will find a hole.
There's no reason.
Yes, give it to Mike Tolbert.
There's no reason you shouldn't just do up to 4 quarterback sneaks from the 1-yard line 4 times in a row.
I'd be fine with that.
One of them,
especially with a quarterback like Tyrod.
I mean, Eric Wood is a good center. You're gonna one out of 4 times at least he's going to be able to push his guy back.
I mean, LaShawn McCoy finished 4th in the regular season for rushing yards too. What are we doing here when you're not giving him the ball? At least giving him 2 or 3 opportunities to get it across the line.
And teams load the box against the Bills because they
the
run's coming. So imagine they had a pass game.
Turned into a Buffalo Bills podcast. Should we do this every week, Drew?
Yes.
This is great.
One last thing. You asked me a couple minutes ago about Tyrod. My going into the draft take is don't move up for a quarterback. Take one who's there at your spot. Don't move your picks around.
This is a good draft class we got.
I think I heard this on Rich Eisen this past week of kind of a sleeper quarterback. I'd never heard of his name. I went and did some research on him. Mason Rudolph from Oklahoma State.
The only thing I have a problem with that is the Big 12 is
no defense.
Pass. We don't care about defense, right? And Oklahoma State is
a lot of inflated numbers.
That formula.
Yeah.
So maybe he's good, but I would rather trade to the number 10 and get someone who's got a little swag, like Baker Mayfield, baby.
Big 10, Big 12.
Also Big 12.
I think
I think
he's
just character issues.
Grabs.
I don't know if McDermott would like that type of guy.
No, I agree.
No, but this quarterback here, I'm just pulling up his stats. I think he's got 3 seasons as the starting quarterback at Oklahoma State too, so he's got some game time under his belt.
Yep.
I think. I wouldn't move up. I'd keep your picks where they are. Don't do anything stupid and just see how the day.
Why not Alex Smith?
Another Band-Aid.
Yeah.
He's old.
But
find a quarterback later in the draft.
But that's what they did last year when they picked Peterman.
I would also like to say.
You guys just said wait. Don't.
I'd wait. Up. But I also say right now the Vikings have 3 starting quarterbacks on the roster: Sam Bradford, Casey Keenum, or Teddy Bridgewater.
Don't go near Sam Bradford.
No, Sam Bradford.
Because you might hurt his knee.
Case Keenum, I like.
Yeah. So
Case Keenum, I think, is gonna go to Arizona, and he's gonna follow.
He's gonna go wherever their OC goes. Yeah.
Yep. Because he does well with him. I think the Vikings will go with Teddy Bridgewater. But look, I mean, Drew, to combat your point, man. I've seen quarterbacks picked in the mid-20s. Last couple, if I had to tell you the last 3 quarterbacks that come to my mind that were picked in the mid-20s are Tim Tebow, Johnny Manziel, and Brandon Wienert, and those guys are all terrible. trade up, get a pick. Look what the Eagles did, man. They traded a couple first-round picks, and they have their quarterback of the future. Look what the Rams did. I'm telling you,
So, Joe, if you have your choice of any quarterback in the draft, who are you picking?
I'm either going to pick the kid from Wyoming or Sam Darnold. I think Rosen is kind of a hothead. I think he's a diva. I think Sam Darnold is really got a good head on his shoulders. I think McDermott would love him. He would fit in really well with the whole culture of the Bills. And I think Josh Allen is used to playing in the cold. I think he's got a tough factor to him that's just it.
I think Carson Wentz having this much success helps his draft stock too, because
I agree. Yeah. Picking a guy from a lesser
same story.
Yeah. So.
Well, we've got 3 months for draft analysis.
4 guys that know nothing about analyzing.
Wait, before we move on, I want to hear this, Tyler. What's this Buffalo Bills trivia challenge?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Here's some trivia for you. And Doug Embledge used this as the question of the day.
He had a full week of Bills trivia.
Yeah. I think this was day 2, so January 2nd.
The number of quarterbacks?
That it is, Drew. Can you name how many? Or first of all, okay, how many starting quarterbacks have the Bills had since the drought began? And can you name all of them?
Okay, I'll name them, and someone's going to keep track for me. All right.
All right, hang on. I got a full list right here, so I'll check it off as we go.
Okay.
So you want to take a stab? Do you want to take a stab at it, or are we letting Joe do it?
Let Joe go. I'll fill in the holes if there are any.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Rob Johnson.
Are you going in order, or are you just going to name them?
I'm going to try to go in order.
Okay.
Rob Johnson, Alex Van Pelt, Kelly Holcomb, Trent Edwards, J.P. Lossman, Brian Brom.
See, that's the one that I missed when I was doing this on my own.
Trent Edwards, I just said. Drew Bledsoe, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Tyrod Taylor. How many am I missing?
I can't tell you. You got to guess the number too, Joe.
Okay, then
you
I'm
left
going to guess.
Flutie off the list.
That was a very obvious one.
Way to go, Joe.
Wait, Doug Flutie? No, because he was on the team in 2000. Yes? No. Well,
yes.
He started after the drought.
Okay. All right. Well,
you got Nate Peterman.
First of all, hang on. We got to get a number first.
I'm going to say 15.
I think it was 17.
Okay.
Was it?
The number technically is 16.
Peterman, he started.
You got Doug Flutie. Okay.
And then we had
you've got
Thad.
You've got 4 left.
Yep.
Oh, you've got
Thad
5
Lewis.
left. Okay, there you got 1.
Thad Lewis, EJ Manuel.
You got 3 more.
Oh, the kid. No,
Yep.
the kid from Ohio State.
He did not start a game. Cardell Jones did not.
He didn't
start
start that last game against the Jets.
He played. He did not start
Last year. I thought he started.
You're missing 2, and these are probably
Tool time. Jeff
Yep,
Tool.
Yep. There's 1 more.
we saw him play the
I'll give you a hint.
Yeah.
I'll give you a hint on this one. The one that you're missing is a extreme technicality, but true nonetheless.
Oh.
Is it like a position? No.
Yeah. No. It was. It was that first game of the year a couple years ago.
Okay, you're getting hot.
With Rex.
You're getting hotter.
Rex's first
Warmer.
game.
Didn't EJ start at center for that snap?
No, they put in.
Can you
was
tell me
a
the number of
position
the person?
player?
No, it is a quarterback.
Oh, it's that one guy they had, not Webb.
Not Webb, not Joe Webb.
Because Joe Webb started this year, Mike.
Oh, by the way, how strange is that we can go back and look at that play, the Joe Webb to Deontay Thompson overtime pass in the snow against the Colts is the play that saved the Bills season.
I know.
Who was it?
Wait,
wasn't it Tyrod's first game as a Bill?
Yeah.
That's when
it was. Yes.
Yeah, and he didn't
Tell me
get the start.
the number. Tell me the number of the person.
I don't know what 7, 16. I don't know.
I can't think of it.
Was it Percy Harvin?
No, it was a quarterback. It was a quarterback. Think of that 3-way battle for the quarterback spot that the Bills had.
Oh,
2
it
years
was
ago.
Matt Castle.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right, Matt Castle.
So that's 16. And if you're interested in this, the Dolphins have actually had more starting quarterbacks in that time than the Bills had, and the Browns have had even more. Okay, so the Bills had 16, the Dolphins had 18 quarterbacks, and if you go back one more season, you can add Dan Marino, but the Browns have had 27.
2 questions for you, Tyler.
28 going back to when they came back to the NFL in '99.
One question that's kind of 2-part. Since the Bills broke their drought, Which NFL team now has the longest drought, and then what professional sports team has the longest drought?
Okay, it's the Browns for the NFL.
I know the professional sports team. It's the Mariners.
The Browns, the Bills, and the Rams, and the Titans, I think it was, all had, and the Jaguars, all had long playoff droughts coming into this year. Obviously, the Bills much longer. They all broke the drought this year, so it's the Browns now in the NFL going back to 2002. The longest drought in pro sports, the Seattle Mariners. The NBA, I don't know.
Well, just professional sports.
I know it's the Seattle Mariners 2001. What else are we looking for here?
That's it.
Oh.
Those are my two questions.
Yeah.
Professional sports and football.
Jaguars or Jaguars?
I've always said Jaguars.
Jaguars. I see Jaguars.
Jaguars.
Why is that up here? Is that like a Western New York thing?
Also, something about the Jaguars that I also think is true with the Dolphins is their logo their new logo is 10 times worse than the logo.
Dude, their old jerseys were sweet.
Their helmets.
Their helmets
are awful.
Those old Jaguar helmets were sweet.
I know.
The new ones
when
suck.
Mark Brunell was quarterback, they should go back to those jerseys.
Looking at the Dolphins logos from like 10 years ago to what it is now, 10 times better.
So the Dolphins logo has a dolphin on their helmet.
A soaring
who's
dolphin.
also wearing a helmet.
Yeah.
But the Dolphins helmet does not have a dolphin with a helmet on
Right.
it.
See, I like the.
I like when you guys went back to the old jerseys.
I like their new uniforms. I don't like the logo too much.
Or their performance on the field.
I like the old.
Last year, as a Dolphins fan, I was in the same position you guys are now. But then they took three
Tyler,
steps
you
backward
made a
this
good
year.
point where the Dolphins, in the Bills' 17-year playoff drought, the Dolphins have only made it, what, like twice?
No, 4 times now.
4 times, okay.
Joe, ready for some really, really premature predictions for next football season?
The Bills will not make the playoffs.
No, I say the Bills take a couple small steps backwards next year.
I think that it depends on what we do at quarterback. I think if we bring in someone like Alex Smith, we will make the
The
playoffs.
schedule will be slightly tougher next year.
And the Patriots
You
could
don't know
be
who's going to be.
the Patriots could be
Good.
bad next year. They could be completely
if
different
everything
next year.
if everything in the news is true, where there's a schism growing between the power three of Robert Kraft, Tom
Bill
Brady,
sign Brady.
Bill Belichick.
Oh, taking a look at the Bills' home slate for next year, is that appetizing to you as a...
I don't think I'm going to be able to do season tickets next year.
Oh, you got too many weddings.
I know, we were talking about this a while ago. Are you looking at going with the a la carte option of just going to a few games?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think we should do that.
Yeah. And also, Rich Eisen also mentioned this this past week, and I think it sounds great. If the Patriots lose this weekend, Belichick might be looking to get out of there. And that's why
They're saying
why the Giants haven't named
New York,
anybody.
yeah.
Because why
That's
wouldn't
what
the Giants name anybody?
So if Belichick stays, they're gonna hire his defensive coordinator.
Most likely.
But if he goes, they're gonna try to lure him to the Giants.
Well, then what about McDaniels?
He'll go somewhere.
He's already
The thing
had
is-
Because I heard he's going to go to Giants.
His coordinators haven't had much success as head
Well,
coaches
McDaniels
elsewhere.
didn't, no. Because they all try to beat
No,
him.
but Romeo Crennel, Charlie Weiss. Are there any other guys?
For all the whole league.
Who was the other one before McDaniel? Wasn't there another guy that...
Yeah, it was Charlie Weiss, right?
No.
So
The guy that he coached the Browns.
Mangini?
Yeah.
Eric
Mangini?
Yeah,
yeah.
Mangini.
Was he
Jets
a
coach,
was
too?
he a Belichick?
Yeah, Mangini was because
Yeah.
he did the cut off sleeves.
Yeah. Yeah, because there was that big controversy when they didn't shake hands, or they did the
yeah.
brief handshake.
He was a bust.
So that's all for the Buffalo Bills
Yeah, I think
podcast.
we
We'll
should
see y'all.
step
Well, I
away
want to
from
talk.
the football.
I want to talk about one more thing real quick. There was another long drought, an even longer drought in the Bills' playoff drought that ended the very next day.
what was that?
Notre Dame won a New Year's Day bowl game for the first time for the first time in 24 years. Now, mind you, it was not a major bowl game. It was probably the most prestigious of the non-major bowl games, the Citrus Bowl. So I just want to throw that out there. We don't have to go in depth about it, but it was a heck of a play. Probably the best individual effort I've seen on a play in my fanhood watching Notre Dame. One-handed grab, slip 3 tackles, run for a touchdown, and
Personally,
held on.
I'm not a big fan of the amount of time between the end of the regular season and the bowl season.
Yeah.
It's like almost a month, right?
oh yeah,
3.5, 4 weeks.
it's different
to
for
start.
everyone. Yeah.
But even for the postseason, because between the semifinals and the finals game, you had a week and a day, is what it came out to be.
It was a week.
Yeah. Like
I don't like that the championship game is on a Monday night every year.
It's so late.
That's all college.
And I would have watched
College
it.
basketball is the same
If that
thing.
game was on at 2 in the afternoon on a Sunday or whatever, or 1 o'clock, I would have watched the full thing. Or even a 4 o'clock game.
I usually never watch the national championship game except when Notre Dame was in it that one time.
Yeah, I was there for
But
the first half.
I did catch part of it this year because I was working overnight, so I caught the end of it. I mean, there was no
Getting
drama.
the text
I
about
watched
that.
the
Drew.
first half. It sucked.
Oh no, wait! I'm sorry. I'm
Like
thinking,
someone
no,
died here.
no. I'm thinking of the playoff game. I did watch a little bit of the Alabama Georgia. There was a lot of drama actually. I don't know why I said. I was thinking of the
Good ending.
the semifinal game, but yeah, I fell asleep right before they went into overtime. I think I heard the missed field goal and regulation, and I fell asleep. I was kind of waking up and then falling asleep again because of the baby, you know.
So I have a take here on Nick
Oh,
Saban.
baby.
While we're talking about national championship games, Nick Saban's definitely the best college football coach of all time, but I would also argue that he's the most clutch coach in American sports history. Just
I will tell you, he
record-wise
never-
on championship
Never loses
games.
cool, man. Like
No.
he's always pretty. Well, I don't know. Maybe he does lose his mind, but
It's either him or Bill Belichick.
Yeah,
Although Bill Belichick mishandled the situation at the end of the Super Bowl against the Seahawks a few years ago, and he got bailed out. But
like Nick Saban's been able to rebuild consistently, whereas in the professional sports, you've got these players and you can retain and continue to build.
Bill Belichick has done it for so long.
And they're friends too. They were on the same coaching staff, right?
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
they've
Cleveland.
definitely created a football world of
I
like.
heard-
You will never be able to top what they've done. I think whenever you think of a national championship without Alabama or a Super Bowl without the Patriots, it's like, well, what happened?
I should
Like, something
absolutely
happened.
hate both of them. Nick Saban, of course, left LSU after winning a national championship to come be the head coach of the Miami Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
He was there for 2 years, and there were rumors that he was going to take the Alabama job. He said, "I guess I have to say it. I'm not going to take the Alabama job." And guess what happened?
He took it
He
the
took
next
the Alabama job, and he led them back because Alabama was kind of floundering for years.
Yeah.
And now they're back far and away number
Better than
one
ever, yeah.
program of all time. But they're
Can you imagine how easy it is for him to recruit?
Now, yeah.
He just has to walk in on closing day, right? Your staff does it for you, and oh, hey Nick, you're going to be in Central.
the only
Florida
thing
next week."
he has working against him is his own success because he's going to recruit really good players who would start anywhere else, but they come to Alabama and they have to compete for a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
All right. I mean, just look at the running backs in Alabama. Like 100-string running backs in Alabama.
one quote that I heard from Nick Saban that pains me is when he said, "You know, if we had signed Drew Brees instead of Dante Culpepper back today, I'd probably still be in Miami."
Yeah.
That hurts.
That's true, though.
I can't hate Nick Saban or Bill Belichick. They're so good. Anything you argue against them it doesn't matter.
I don't like Bill Belichick. If he goes to the Giants, that'd be fun to watch.
Yeah.
That'd be
to
hilarious.
see
Oh,
what-
that would be. I think people in Western New York would celebrate that second to them getting in the playoffs.
No, just to see
if Bill
what he
Belichick
can-
left the AFC East,
Just to see what he can do. Carolina and Notre Dame played today, Tyler. College basketball. I did not know this.
I didn't know that either.
Anyway, just to see what he could do with rebuilding, especially if he could get Eli another
It's like
ring, too.
there's
That'd
no
be
point in arguing against Tom Brady, against Bill Belichick, against Nick Saban because they're the best at what they do and
and
will be for a long time.
And a funny thing about Bill Belichick, I listen to sports talk when I go to bed, and the sports talk I listen to is ESPN in New York City, so they talk a lot about the Giants and all those guys. And one of the guys called in, he's like, "How are we supposed to sign Bill Belichick? That guy's like sacrilegious in New York. Like it would be terrible because the Giants beat him twice." And the radio host was like, "Well, I mean, Bill Belichick got to start with the Giants. Like that's a team.
Never mind, Bill
It'd be-
Belichick was the defensive coordinator when the
It'd be-
Giants won the Super Bowl back in
It'd be
the day.
Bill Belichick coming home, man. Like, come on.
Open arms.
No.
If he wants to come to Buffalo, I've got open arms for Bill Belichick.
Hi, Sean McDermott.
Yep, see you,
So
Shawnee.
the theme with that is you can never overstate how important it is to have a good coach.
Yeah, and that's why. Just look at the Raiders for an example. They think John Gruden's worth $100 million. The consistency for 10 years is crazy.
We'll see. It's not good.
Although many
think
people
that's
pointed out he didn't have a great record his last
No.
several years in Tampa. after
Exactly.
winning that Super
Oh,
Bowl.
look at his overall record. It's nothing spectacular.
But it's
That's what I would have loved to have him as a Notre Dame coach.
it's going to be revenue based though, because now they're going to get more primetime games next year. They've got 2 more seasons till they move their team, so
Oh,
they've
yeah,
got a product they
they're
can sell.
an it team in the
And the
NFL.
Raiders are already top 5 teams nationwide, right? As far as fanship.
I don't know about in Western
Top-
New York though.
No,
Dolphins,
not me,
a lot of
Western New York.
Dolphins.
They're
fans take
top
over.
10, I would say.
Right? Because that's why they get the
Their
prime time games already.
their brand took a pretty big hit in the 15 years when they didn't, or 14 years when they didn't make the playoffs. But
They've got a lot of old football fans.
Yeah.
The old school football fans.
The Raiders.
The Raiders.
so
Are we done with sports?
I think we can move on now.
Can we move
I
on?
think we
to
can move
football?
on from the Bills. We've
Oh,
hit our Bills
Jeff
quota.
Diedrich did say during the Bills-Jaguars game, he says, Fowler is dirty. Not Drew. He wasn't talking about Drew. He was talking about Dante Fowler.
Oh,
Which
not,
I
not
thought
Chris
I
Fowler?
thought the hit on Tyrod was clean, but then it almost looked like Tyrod's head got hit back into the ground because another Jaguar looked like he was jumping there somewhere. But if you watch the replay, he actually tripped over Eric Wood and fell onto Tyrod again.
Yeah.
Anywho,
well, you are listening to the 259 show live here on our website.
we should just stop this episode, start a new one right now.
Facebook and Twitter at the 259 show. Weigh in on Facebook and Twitter. John Strauss says no to Tyrod. He commented on that, so he's
No, I'm
listening.
confused by what he said. He said no to Taylor leaving or no to Taylor staying.
I don't know.
John, can you
John,
clarify
that,
that,
please. We need to get the hotlines opening up. We
Let's-
need callers. That's how we'll improve in 2018.
You know what?
New
We'll
year,
get
new
better.
us. We didn't
New
talk
year,
about that.
We'll get better.
God.
New year, new intro.
No.
Drew
We
was
got off on Monday.
One more thing, Mike. Well, I was sick this past week.
Yeah.
Download the Dan Patrick Show app on my phone.
Yeah, how is that?
Great.
Is it? I need to download it.
Because laying in bed, there's only so much TV you could watch
Yeah.
during the day.
Oh, yeah.
So I listened to the 3-hour podcast because I missed the show.
Uh-huh.
And great. And they don't go to commercial. They just continue talking through the breaks. And they do their voiceover spots for things, but it's
Yeah.
more of like a dialogue.
I've listened to the podcast before, yeah. They just...
It's not bad.
No, it's pretty good.
And then I've also listened live at work through
Yeah,
the
they
break,
post cool videos. I don't even know what they do outside the actual radio show now anymore.
So here in Western New York, Rochester in particular, we have a lot of businesses coming and going.
Yeah.
The major breaking
Let's
news
start with our breaking news here.
this past week. Let's hit it here. The Western New York World learned, was it Thursday? Midday Thursday?
Yeah.
That Sam's Club is closing, the Greece and Henrietta locations, which I believe are the only two in the Rochester market.
There's one in. There's a few in the Buffalo area. I believe will remain open.
But about, I think 62 is the number I saw.
63.
63 Sam's Clubs closing nationwide.
What's the deal with that? Because just sales aren't well? Or
There's a lot of
is
theories out there right now.
Costco came in crushing it.
There's a lot of theories out
BJ's.
there right now.
A lot of theories, but this came a day after Walmart announced that starting rates are going to be $11 nationwide, and
then we find
they were going to give
this
$1,000
out.
bonuses to about half of their employees across the board.
But employees had no notice of this at Sam's. They walked into work Thursday, not thinking anything was up, and then I think they brought in all
I
their
did.
employees.
Yeah, I went to Sam's Club this morning. I went to Sam's Club this morning, and the cashier. We were talking to the two cashiers in our line, and they said they had a staff meeting Thursday, similar to what they do before the holiday season. But being after the holiday season, they thought they were just in trouble, and they were hit with the news. And they said they will not be transferred to any Walmart locations. They have to reapply if they want a job at Walmart.
Wow, that's crazy.
But it opened back up yesterday. They're open through the 26th of January.
Abbreviated hours.
And
It's
they're gonna
10
get-
a.m. to 6 p.m.
They will get paid until like mid-April, because you have to give 90 days notice or 60 or something.
John Strauss says no to Taylor being the starting quarterback. They need Darnold. So
Yes,
John Strauss
John.
says.
Thank you, sir.
But yeah, so 10 to 6 is their abbreviated hours. We got there at 9:30 this morning because we thought there would be some crowd. We sat in the car until 10 when the doors opened, thinking we could skirt the line and kind of shoot in.
Just sprint in.
And they weren't allowing us. They sent us to the back of the line. I'll post a picture on our page later. I took a picture of me standing in front of the old Tops. That's how far the line was.
Whoa.
Yeah. All the way
Wow.
down there.
Just to get in?
Just to get in.
Wow.
When I drove by yesterday, the whole plaza was parked.
Oh my
parked.
God.
Yeah, so
How
I
long
got-
did it take you to...
It took about 20 minutes to get into the building.
I took
And then once you're in there, you couldn't move.
Was there any inventory left?
They had a little bit of everything still.
Yeah.
Everything's 25% off. I think that
They're boosting up to
includes.
50, aren't
I
they?
think that includes the.
It's going to go up as they get closer. Yeah. I got a random phone call from our friend Cameron McMillan, and he's telling me Man, you got to get here. The boneless wings are 25% off everything.
But it was nuts. Sam and I had 2 carts today, and it was put stuff in the cart and then find a place where she could stay with the carts as I ran around picking stuff and throwing it in the cart and going back and doing it.
Yeah, he told me people are darn near looting in here is what he said. I'm like,
Yeah.
I said, are there people like swimming through the big freezers with all the frozen food?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I pretty much saw that.
Yeah, and I'm not bothering with that.
But I asked you earlier, I said, was everything picked over? You said, no, they still have a lot of inventory.
They had a lot of TVs there this morning. If we wanted to, we bought a new one for the studio down
You got a
here.
43-incher over here.
Yeah, 43-inch Vizio. It came out to be like $225 after tax.
And I think Cameron said he got a 75-inch TV. Did I
There
read
were
that
a
correctly?
handful of those there still
Wow.
today. 25% off everything. I think that includes the beer even, because people are buying like that like it's going out of business. Oh, they are going
I'll tell you what, I'm going to miss... See, I don't shop there a lot or ever anymore just because I don't need to buy things in bulk, really. But
I'm
that
surprised.
was
I love
experience.
going.
Free
up,
samples.
going
You
with my
could
mom
eat
and grandma.
lunch on all the free
Oh.
samples they had.
I-
Growing up,
I'd be up to, like, 5 times
Michelle
a-
would go to Sam's Club like once a month because like she'd be buying groceries for me and my brother.
You guys
and, like,
basically
we're,
did your grocery shopping there.
we're big boys, yeah, and like we would get everything there, man. Like,
Yeah.
and it was great because it was like, okay, going to Sam's Club. All right, well here's lunch for the day.
Yeah.
Because you just go around and
You
get
get
all
free
free samples.
I just went there recently and got my tires done.
Oh, really?
And it still did a lot of business, from what I
Yeah.
understand.
It sounds very odd.
crowded.
And now the question is, what's going to go in that plaza? I believe it's called
Elm Ridge.
Plaza.
I mean, that thing, they lost tops.
that Walmart's got to go. Because
I was thinking maybe they'll turn Sam's into a super Walmart there, but
They might.
I don't know.
there's also a Bill Gray's going in across the street,
Right across the street there, yeah.
Oh, really?
which is strange. But yeah, a lot of that plaza's been dying slowly for...
Yeah.
You got the Chili's right there, which is usually busy. But yeah, it's really just Walmart.
That
You
car
got
dealership's out of there by now.
Red,
Monroe Muffler,
I mean, it's-
Red House.
like-
Red Fidelis,
Joe's favorite place.
Taco
ever.
Bell. Oh, they got the
Nobody-
Outlaw Potato
nobody-
Shack.
Nobody just needs to go there anymore, man. Like,
Potato Shack's further down the road.
It's it's not just that plaza though; it's retail in general. I remember you told me a few years ago when you were saying, yeah, Sears will be closed eventually, maybe even the whole mall will be closed. I
can't-
thought you were crazy at
I can't
first,
believe
but
Sears is still open.
Yeah.
Honestly.
that was the other
Oh,
news that came out
Tyler,
of the day is that
sorry.
Sears is closing more stores. Not here though. Yes,
Side
Joe.
note, you need to go to my house to pick up the last part of your Stealth Santa Christmas present. It is there.
Ooh, okay.
But in it's apples and oranges. We can't compare it. Sam's Club's foot traffic to Sears foot traffic. How does Sam's Club close? That's
Yeah.
Maybe it's not-
there are some theories in
not
this.
revenue-based.
Cameron tells me he tells me that Sam's because he goes.
Does he work there?
No, but he
Oh.
says I'm there like every day. He's like I don't know what I'm going to do now.
yeah. I go every couple weeks.
So he's there all the time. He says that he thinks that Sam's is trying to push its online service more, and so rather than closing just one store here and like consolidating them into one in the Rochester area, they're closing both so that people from here who want to shop at Sam's will go online and do that.
So
I go to Sam's in Henrietta like weekly to get gas because it's usually cheaper than every other place around. But yeah, I mean now we still have several BJ stores. We got the new
BJ's,
Costco. I don't have a membership to either of those,
Neither
but I don't know if I'm going to get one. But I guess that's where the
thing
crowd
with
will
Sam's
go.
Club.
Whoa.
Hey, we got some weird noises going on today.
Our producer's sucking
I
today.
know.
maybe some of the Sam's inventory will go to Walmart, but
I don't know.
because a lot of the WalMarts have turned into super WalMarts recently.
The thing with Sam's Club too, and I was telling Sam today. I'm 25. I probably remember the last 18 years of going to Sam's Club.
Oh,
The same people work there. That lady who highlights your receipt on your way out, she's been there since as long as I can remember.
No more 88-cent pretzels or slushies.
I know, right?
Those
What's
were
your
good.
brother going to do? Isn't that his favorite pizza?
Yeah.
Doesn't he love
It is
Sam's
Oh
Club?
my god, I
They,
haven't talked to
they,
him.
they have a great meat department. They got good birthday cakes there.
Cakes are 25%
Everything.
off over there.
They have everything
Yeah.
at Sam's.
I
Speaking
kinda
of
thought about
crazy
it.
good deals,
What are we
Drummond,
doing? Go to get like 8 cakes, man.
8 cakes. Speaking of great deals, I went before New Year's, a few days before New Year's, got my suit fitted for your wedding
There you go.
As did Joe and I.
at the Men's Warehouse.
We ran
And-
into someone special when we were there.
Jeremiah Clifford was there for another wedding, a different
Oh,
wedding.
was that awkward?
No,
Oh.
No, it was funny. It was actually hilarious.
like look at this guy.
So it was kind of crappy out that day. So after I got fitted, I was kind of just perusing around, looking at stuff, and I noticed they had a clearance the suits. So I got roped into just buying another suit.
You bought a suit?
$700 suit for $120.
That's a good deal.
Yeah. So
Wow, that's
need a
actually
suit?
awesome.
what? Did I need
Did
one?
you need one?
I could use one. Yeah.
What color suit did you get, Michael?
It was a blue, a darker blue.
Ooh, get yourself some
A leisure
brown
suit?
shoes.
What?
A leisure suit?
No, not a leisure suit. I only had like 2 black ones.
You wear
so-
it around,
you
you wear
got
it
nice-
around your
nice
downtown
red-
house?
Yeah, my downtown house.
Mike, you city slicker.
I greased my hair back.
Puts it on to
This
go.
is your first episode since you've moved to the big city.
Oh yeah. Have I changed? Do I look
You're different.
Am
I can see
different?
it. I can see it.
Yeah,
You're
you weren't the
different.
first one here today, Mike.
Yeah, I
Little
just
bit.
got home. I went home, did some business, and
He's
I
wearing a
came
hat.
back here. Oh, it's cold.
It is a little
We
cold.
keep our house at like 52.
It is a little cold down here.
Your house?
Yeah. My
Is it a
downtown
house?
house.
Is it a house?
It's actually it's a house, not an apartment.
So you're not like Jay, even though it's a condo, you call it a house.
No, it's an
Okay.
actual home. I had to shovel my driveway this morning.
Other,
And you help the old ladies shovel theirs.
Yeah.
Or is that? Or are you embellishing that story?
No.
other business news is 2 new stores coming to town.
Oh wait, we got more breaking food news.
We'll get there.
Are we on food?
We got this news was above Sam's Club.
We're on pace for a 3-hour show at
Guys,
this point, boys.
ground has been broken. Chick-fil-A
That's not breaking
is
news.
coming here.
There's a building there. How can you
I feel
break
like this has
ground
been
when there's a
breaking,
building?
Yeah, it's
breaking
tough.
news
I
every
haven't
week.
seen it. I don't know.
I think we okay. So I think let's set the record straight.
Tyler.
Chick-fil-A is coming to Rochester. They will begin building it shortly.
It's already
Okay.
built. There's
Breaking
a tent
news.
around
They had the groundbreaking last week. I don't know what they did before. 'Cause I haven't
Put up
driven by it in
the
a while.
west side wall facing Ridge Road. Breaking news, guys.
Isn't it done?
Ground has officially been
Supposed to be
broken.
done next month.
We had the owner on Good Day Rochester last week.
Who's the owner?
And I listened to his interview because I wasn't producing that show that day. Some interesting notes here. The opening is expected to be March. That could be delayed based on the weather. So
So May.
it's not the first in upstate New York. There's one in the Syracuse area in Cicero that's opening next month.
Yeah.
It's going to have it's 5,036 square feet, indoor and outdoor seating, and a playground for the kiddos,
Two-story.
Oh, that'll be good.
little kids. So we can take the little pooper there and have her climb around after eating her grilled nugs or before. 2 drive-through lanes.
I've seen that.
So that's good because that was a concern, the traffic. 2 drive-through lanes, that is good news. He says that the plans, he's been pursuing this for 8 years, and it finally came to fruition now.
Yeah.
So he said there was a lot of work that goes into operating
What's
a
his
Chick-fil-A.
background? Who
So
is he?
slappies like us couldn't open
No. What's his
one.
background? He's got to have some
He's
money.
lived in Rochester for 19 years, and he worked in banking,
Okay.
and he's been down south a lot.
Yeah.
But he's traveling a lot to Atlanta now, so he can train to run the
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A. Because when you own a Chick-fil-A, you can only own
Yeah.
one franchise.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into it.
Oh, sure. I mean, that's any business.
So, but they're going to open the Syracuse area, and then later this year, the Buffalo area, which I believe is in Cheektowaga, the former Famous Dave's, one in Plattsburgh also, and then we'll find out more about future locations after that. But they're gonna set the foundation with those.
The way Channel 13 tweeted about it made it sound like Ford coming to Rochester.
Yeah, I read the press release, and it said,
It was misleading.
Yeah.
Clickbait.
but
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Yeah, it said that there were going to be 4, but then
In
if you
addition
read
to
later,
the
it's
groundbreaking
upstate
of
New York.
Yeah, but it made it sound like they were going to break ground at another one
Right.
in Greece. I'm like, where would you put it in Greece? And then I came up with like across some
You
golf
could
dome.
you could put several in Greece. I mean, just like there are several McDonald's in Greece already.
Yeah.
There's even 2 Friendlies in Greece. Anywho, Doug in his interview, he said he's like, if the royal family came to Rochester, I don't think it would get as much attention as Chick-fil-A would.
Especially on this show.
Hi-oh!
Oh, they're also putting something in that in the old Kmart.
That's another thing I have
That
on
home
my
decor.
list
It's
here.
going to be a home decor store.
Yeah.
I have it written down right here, and I can't.
It's like at-home
It's
decor.
at Home Superstore is going into Kmart, and
Which I
the
remember.
old Circuit City was vacant for many years now, probably
Many.
almost a decade now.
More, yeah.
Ruby Gordon moving in there at the
Gordon,
mall.
they're now open over there, too.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I've been in that.
And then Rite Aid right there in Spencerport on 31 and 259.
That is open now?
Rite Aid?
It is?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I think they're still built.
I just realized that there was already a Rite Aid in Spencerport.
Yeah,
Yes.
next to
that's
town.
stupid.
But now it's that's a big Rite Aid.
It's a big Rite Aid.
It's going to go out of business in 3 years.
Probably.
We've got Cam's Pizzeria, which closed in Spencerport not too long ago, opening Henrietta and a second location in Penfield. And then Mark's Pizzeria closed at the Grease Ridge Mall and Eastview Mall. What else I got on there? I think that's it.
Great.
Cool. A lot of stuff happening.
Let's continue on to food talk here. You got, sorry, let me, poor me, not queuing up the clip for you in time.
Got some fancy new products at Wegmans. I just found out about this on Twitter today. I discovered they had a lobster pretzel yesterday, which is a big soft pretzel topped with lobster. I saw on Twitter today there is also a buffalo chicken pretzel.
Did you?
It's $10.
Are you going to go?
No.
$10?
But if I do, I might.
$10
If I go to,
for a
I,
pretzel?
it's a big pretzel and a lot of buffalo chicken on top. But I discovered. Can you play the breaking news clip again? I'm sorry, I didn't lead off with the actual breaking news. I finally did it, guys. I have found the perfect store-bought salsa. I have been searching for a long time now, and I finally found it. And it is at Wegmans. It's the Wegmans cherry tomato salsa. It's not in a glass container. I think it's in a plastic container that you buy over near the prepared foods. And it almost looks more like a tomato sauce, but it is a.
That's good.
It's a good salsa. I'm gonna have to go back and get more because I've almost gone through the whole thing
Not
since
chunky.
I bought it yesterday. Not chunky. Great taste.
Yeah.
And I encourage you to go get. It's like $5 for a container. It's a pretty good sized container, but hopefully they have it on sale regularly because I got to get myself more.
No. What's an underrated Wegmans product? Rotisserie chicken. $4.99.
That is a good deal.
That's a
I'm
good
not
deal.
a big rotisserie chicken fan. My dad,
Yeah.
Jeff, is.
$4.99. They'll last you a week.
You're about the rotisserie chicken.
I like it. I like value.
It's time for the 259 Show's weekly power rankings.
Before we dive into food talk too much, let's go to the power rankings, which was appetizers, because we don't want to ruin our power ranking lists and what else could transpire from the food talk that we may have.
I'll tease it though. I got one new exciting Wegmans item that I want to talk about later in the program, and I think Mike will enjoy it.
Okay.
This week's power rankings was my choice. It is appetizers. Let's start with me, and we'll go counterclockwise. The direction a baseball player travels on the baseball diamond to Tyler, Joe, and Mike. You're first base. I'm home base.
I'm looking the wrong way. Counterclockwise is
this way.
okay. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, yes, I know I am. Thank you, Tyler, for telling me that.
Now I think there's going to be some discretion between appetizers and side dishes, but we'll hash that out as we go.
And this was extremely difficult. I apologize, guys.
There's a lot of good choices though.
I don't really have specific places. For example, I don't say blah, blah, blah from blah, blah, blah.
Neither did I.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Number 5. I saw this on a menu last night. We didn't get it, but Sam and I went to Grandpa Sam's last night. Appetizers. Meatballs. Big fan of meatballs on the appetizer list. Stone Yard Brewing Company has one where it's literally a softball-sized meatball with bread and sauce around it. Delicious.
Meatball in a cup from the meatball truck.
Yes.
Meatball truck.
Number 4. I don't get this nearly enough, but potato skins.
Yep.
Cheesy, potatoey, bacony.
Throw a
gooey.
throw a dollop of sour cream on
I
that.
agree with you
bad
too. I haven't had them much lately, but they are always a hit.
The number 3, the appetizer, probably I don't want to say get the most, but it's more frequent. The mozzarella stick, or the mozzarella stick.
Mozzarella.
A nice little side of marinara next to it.
I think mozzarella stick is like the first appetizer that someone eats in their life.
Appetizing life.
Yeah.
I kind of cheated the system here. Number 2, I just went with bread. Because when you go out to eat,
That's a good idea.
there's a couple places where they give you bread and it's great. Olive Garden, breadsticks, perfect.
Yeah.
Outback, the rye bread with their butter.
Oh,
spread on
pumpernickel
it.
bread.
Pumpernickel bread.
Yes,
Yes, sorry.
that was the stuff.
What would you like
Delicious.
for an appetizer, sir? Just give me a piece. bread.
Texas Roadhouse. Ever been?
No, but
They've
I
got
want
bread
to.
and they've got a cinnamon butter spread that you put on it.
No, that's the best. It's always free.
Delicious. It's free, and it's always You go to these places banking on, I'm going to have bread before the meal, so you might not eat as much going into it. And then number one, I understand it's a kind of bread, Tyler, but pretzel. Pretzel as an appetizer.
I'll allow it. The committee will allow both the bread and the pretzel.
Bread and the pretzel.
I forgot about bread, but that's a great choice, actually.
Drew, you left one off that I was kind of surprised about.
Is it an appetizer, Joe?
Yersh. It's on my list, so I'm not going to say it yet.
All right. Yersh. All right, Tilly.
You know what? You just had me rethink my list. Although I forgot to put this one, although I intended to. Number 5. When you go to a Mexican restaurant, this is what you get as your free bread: chips and salsa, and they always have the best salsa. And
sometimes queso.
Yeah,
yes.
Like you go to Monte Alban or what the heck is that? Los Gallos. Mm-hmm. They always have the best salsa, and you can never replicate it at the store. The cherry tomato salsa from Wegmans is the closest thing I've found. But yeah, it's hard to beat your free chips and salsa when you go to a Mexican restaurant.
Moe's.
Oh yeah, Moe's. That's
Salinas.
That's why to me Moe's is easily hands down better than Chipotle.
When it's kind of a go-to place for the Fowler family, because when we never agree on where we're gonna go out, we go to Chili's, and we always at the table somebody will do the 2 for $22 or whatever, so we can get the chips and salsa that comes with it because it's a great appetizer.
Oh yeah, can't beat the chips, and it's easy, and salsa is actually kind of healthy too.
But the amount of salt on the chips.
Number 4, Mike. This might intrigue you. I'm surprised it ended up at number 4 on my list. Arancini.
Who? What?
Am I not saying it right?
Marcassini?
Spell it for me, Ty.
Yeah. What?
Arancini.
R-I-N-C-N.
Maybe I don't know.
It's a giant ball of rice that's usually filled with...
Oh, those things? Yeah, they're okay.
I don't think you're saying it right.
Spell it again for me. A-R-C-I.
I forget.
A-R-A-N-C-I-N-I. Arancini. Giant ball of rice. A giant ball filled with rice and meat and...
Arancini.
Oh, yeah, those are
Hard
pretty
C.
good.
Yeah?
Yeah, like Vincelli.
See,
Arancini.
it was your last name. That's why I say it the way I did.
All right, let's see what this says here.
We Americanized it.
Arancini.
Yeah, arancini.
So Lisa doesn't make your former roommates don't make this?
Nah, I've only had it a couple times. I actually had it for Christmas Eve this year as one of the side dishes.
Someone made it.
Tyler,
one
you
of mine
just stumped
too,
the Italians.
No, I just said it wrong.
I'm more cultured than Mike, I guess.
I'm more Italian than Mike.
That's fine. My nose is bigger.
But they also have the mini rice balls at Jose Joe's here in Hilton, which are similar.
Yeah.
With the beans and the rice and
yeah, it's pretty good. You put sauce on it.
Oh yeah, you get a big bucket of sauce and you dunk your ball into the sauce.
I've never had it at a restaurant.
They have it at Frontier Field at Red Wings games. You can get it from that one Italian stand that's right by home plate there.
Never had it. No, they're pretty good.
Check it out, Mike.
I've had it.
Number 3, I'm gonna go with the hot pretzel as well.
Okay.
I always get this when I go to Rohrbox as my appetizer, and you dunk it in the peanut butter honey mustard.
Genesee Brew Company has great pretzel sticks.
Great.
Yeah, I'm not a huge pretzel guy.
Pretzel
I think
sticks, man.
we've talked about this
so
before,
good.
but Jenny Brew House has great pretzels.
I think tonight we're going to go up to the Wood Kettle and try theirs. They now have theirs on the menu.
Yeah, we got to hear about how that pretzel is.
They don't have Drew Fowler special cheese sauce, though.
Shout out to Greg Earnhardt's girlfriend, Kim, who brought delicious soft pretzels to the Christmas party this year. And I also want to correct something, but I'll do that later. I'll do it now. I gave her credit for bringing the... actually, no. I'm going to talk about it right now because it's next on my list, actually. Number 2 is monkey bread.
Monkey bread's great.
Which you can do in many different flavors. You can do the cinnamon and sugar. The first time I ever had that was at the Peachy family's New Year's Day football spectacular in the year of our Lord 2005, I believe. Someone brought a monkey bread. And I've had it recreated many different times. I gave Kim credit for making the garlic monkey pull-apart bread. It was Colin's girlfriend, Kate. That was delicious. So monkey bread. And I've had it on my mind since that Christmas party. She had a garlic monkey bread, and that was delicious. And I want more of
a
it.
recipe.
Oh, yeah.
Probably easy to make.
So monkey bread is number 2 on my list. And number 1, if you guys have been following the podcast lately, you know I've been hot about this for a while now. Boneless wings.
Wow.
That's number 1. Wow.
Boneless wings.
I consider boneless wings not being an appetizer. I get it as a meal.
It could be a meal. I mean,
It
you
could
can
be
make
both.
any appetizer into a meal.
Our
It's
chicken
the Wally
wing
Diedrich method.
Yeah, are chicken wings an appetizer? I don't think so. I wouldn't say.
We should have had Molly on to talk about appetizers.
Yeah, and we should have had expert appetizer.
See, I think
They're not appetizers, they're entrees.
I see boneless wings being.
yeah.
I see boneless wings being more of a side dish.
I just scratched. Well, then you're gonna have regular wings as the same.
Yeah, I thought
Side
that,
dish.
No, that's absolutely an appetizer. It's like the classic appetizer.
We're under
I think if you go in your
appetizers.
Mount Rushmore of appetizers, it's going to be chicken wings, mozzarella sticks, and 2 other things. I don't know. I just scratched mozzarella sticks off my list in favor of chips and salsa. But mozzarella sticks, like I said, are probably the first appetizer that you will eat in your appetizing career. Or if you're Molly, they're your favorite food of all time. And they're
Joe?
your go-to order anywhere you go.
Save us, Joe.
Yeah, so I struggled with kind of figuring out what is an appetizer, what is a side, what is it like? Because chicken wings sometimes can be your main course. You know what I mean?
Often.
So I took chicken wings off the list.
In Western
number
New York,
5
they can be. Many other places, I don't know.
Number 5 is really simple, but I love it and it's always good. It's just cheese and crackers, man.
Little pepperoni.
You know what I mean?
What
Little
kind of-
pepperoni. And honestly, you know what's really good is you get saltine cracker. You just get like a thick slab of cheddar and cut up some onion.
What was that?
Cheddar. We need that drop every week. Every week.
I think it is
Force
said
it.
enough.
We haven't heard
It's
from
been
Tim or
said enough
Hank
where
today
Mike
either.
deserves that drop.
Every week we work it in, and we're not even trying to.
Make it happen, Papa Bear. But yeah, put some onion on that and some mustard, man. It's really good.
I was surprised to hear that you go with saltine because that's like the only cracker I don't think of when I think of cheese and crackers.
Well, I mean, just for that like combo. So like, Drew, remember that time you came to New York and I took you to that bar that's like a super Irish pub, McSworley's?
Yes.
Yeah, if you order the cheese and crackers, they give you like chopped up onions, and it's really good. So, but any cheese and crackers are great. Number 4, Lay's potato chips and bison dip. I know I'm getting real basic with this, but
No,
you know
I
what?
like it.
Those are delicious. Number 3, I'm gonna go. Drew, this is what I was surprised you left off, man. Buffalo chicken wing dip.
I see that as more of a side.
That's an appetizer.
That's an appetizer, son. That's delicious,
I
man.
think
love me some
everyone,
buffalo chicken
in
wing
my
dip.
opinion, everyone here so far has picked all appetizers, not side dishes.
Sorry, I got a text. Number 2, pretzels and cheese sauce. Delicious. I love it.
What's your favorite?
Honestly, Jenny Brewhouse, man. They got the best.
Right,
kind.
those are good.
It's delicious. I don't know what it is about it, but it's just so good.
The beer cheese.
And then number 1 is a little spinach artichoke dip.
Ooh, that's nice.
Put a little tortilla chips on that. Yummy, yummy.
You know what, Drew? I bet. Sorry, the Jenny Brew House. They probably use some like what Woodkettle's going to do for their pretzels. So I bet you Woodkettle's going to have. I bet Woodkettle's going to have a nice pretzel too.
And Mike, you want to bring us home?
Yeah. I'm surprised. I didn't think this would be on anybody's list, but you had it. Bread.
I love bread.
Number 5. A little oil. Put a little cheese.
They did that out over at Grandpa Sam's last
Oh
night.
yeah,
They
you
gave you
put
the bowl,
the oil,
and then they
put the
Yeah,
oil,
yeah.
a little bit of cheese, a little bit of crushed red pepper over there. You dunk. I love dunking. So yeah, bread, garlic bread is probably my fave. Number 4, antipasto, minga, a little bit of cheese, a little bit of meat.
Wait, time out. Can you say that? Can he say that?
Yeah, sure.
The censors let that one go.
Yeah.
It's a podcast. Nobody listens anyways.
Number 3, mozzarella sticks. I love mozzarella sticks. I don't get them often though. It's not real good bang for your buck.
No, really not.
But if they're getting passed around, I've been known to crush the mozzarella sticks.
Tap into that.
Yeah. Number 2, little hot dogs, pigs in a blanket.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Cocktail wieners.
Oh baby, Those are good.
That's another Molly Diedrich staple.
Really?
Well, I should say it's a Diedrich family staple.
I don't know. I think I like them more left alone without dunking them in mustard. I think.
Oh, I don't either. I've never done.
I sometimes dunk in mustard. I like to dunk.
Now it says.
I like to pop the wieners out and just eat the croissant.
Uh,
Hi-yo!
Pigs in a
Believe
blanket
that.
or
Believe that
cocktail.
there.
Pigs in a blanket or cocktail wieners. What's on your list?
I just call them little hot dogs.
Are they wrapped in?
Yeah,
Croissant?
yeah.
Have you ever had the
No,
ones,
not cocktail.
Have you ever
with,
had the
like
ones-
sauce on them? It's
the
okay.
barbecue sauce or whatever it is?
I think at your house
Yeah.
a bunch of times. They're okay.
I've
They're
made
good.
it with Country Street before. Throw
Really?
a crack pot with
Oh, is that what
Country
it is? Yeah, maybe that's
It's
what
just
it
like a
is.
little too slimy. I like the croissant
gotta eat
to
it with
kind of
Yeah,
toothpicks.
I'm all about the croissant.
to keep it all in. And then number 1, fried calamari, man. Oh yeah.
That is Mike. That's the goods, baby.
Yeah.
There's a lot that we left off that I was surprised that no one mentioned.
Sure, but
I think I have to make a new intro for the show after what Tyler just said. That'd be a good drop to
yeah. Can we get to?
People are going to get the wrong idea about this
I just
podcast.
want shut up.
Shut up. What did we leave off?
No
Tyler?
one said nachos. I mean, if you get a good hearty pile of nachos with a lot of stuff on there,
Yeah, but I've
beans,
had way too many bad
meat,
nachos at
cheese,
restaurants.
salsa, the fixins.
I've had more bad nachos than good nachos, I think, in my life.
Jeff Diedrich is a big fan of making the pulled pork nachos.
In the same category
oven.
too, Tyler, the loaded French fry.
Sometimes loaded fries.
Sometimes they're great,
or just
sometimes they're just too much.
Or just like cheese fries or chili fries. Mm-hmm. They have taco fries at Jose Joe's. No, you said meatballs, but no one mentioned like the Swedish meatballs, which are cooked in a different stuff.
Your dad makes their mom. I've had them at your house quite often.
Fried mac and cheese, which is a good appetizer for your Friday night dinner at Schmeg's. Loaded tots. No one mentioned pizza rolls or pizza logs, which is surprising. Taquitos.
Those are good.
Taco dip is probably Molly's
That's her bread and butter.
Yeah, that is her bread and butter. She makes that all the time. And I was surprised that no one said wings.
And also coming in on the 259 show hotline, the Dakota Sidewinders. If you've never had them, go over them, try them.
Potatoes?
They're like curly fries, but they're different, and you can get them with hot sauce and cheese and loaded down. They're pretty good.
I haven't eaten at the Dakota in forever.
The wings are delicious. So Tyler, you just mentioned Schmeg's. Totally escaped my mind. Schmeg's gets their ingredients from Sam's Club, so maybe there'll be a change in product. Not necessarily. They make their bread from the Bisquick mixes and the stuff. You know, all the eggs and bacon come from Sam's Club. They go daily, sometimes twice a day. So we'll see how they
go to BJ's.
BJ's is closer to Schmeg's.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. A different product, I'm assuming, though. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to mention that one thing that I teased right before we got into this.
Okay, what's so fancy?
A new product that I've recently discovered at Wegmans that I've gotten several times already, Mike. If you look in the pizza section at Wegmans, the focaccia pizzas. They're like little. They have the one that we've gotten so far. This is the third time we've gotten already. Is the
what is it? Frozen
sausage? No, it's like a prepared pizza. You just throw it in your oven for 10, 12 minutes when you get home.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
The
Focaccia.
focaccia.
That's pretty good. Like I said, I love their frozen.
Yeah, they've
pizzas.
got a few different kinds. They've got the veggie sausage, which is what we've gotten.
Yeah.
They've got a potato and onion, and the other one is like tomato and olive. So I throw it in the toaster, dump a
much
little
are
bit of
those?
$5.
Oh, nice. It's a full pie.
No, it's a little one.
Oh.
They also have the tomato pie slices, which I've gotten a couple of times recently, and those are terrific.
Tomato pie's good.
Yep. I wish there were more places that sold that around here.
All
Let's
right.
open up a restaurant.
What else you got on Food Tech, Tyler?
That's
Quickly.
it.
That's it.
That's
Thank
it.
you. Thank you so much. Keeping the program moving along. Pet peeve of the week. Tyler, you have a pet peeve.
Yeah, we've seen this a lot the last couple of days with the weather. All right, first of all, yesterday we had a high of 59, and then all of a sudden the temperature just
60, I believe.
plunged. It may have hit 60.
It did. Scott Hutzko said 60.
I thought that I saw the recorded high temperature 59 at the airport.
Oh, Scott Hutzko said 60.
I was going by Kevin Williams for some reason.
Ooh.
I don't remember Scott saying 60 yesterday, though.
Yeah, that's what he said.
I wonder if to fact check that.
Okay. Who cares?
Anywho, our temperature plummeted. You could feel the temperature. I went into Wegmans and it was still high 50s. I came out and it was like at least 10 degrees cooler when I came
Yeah,
out.
that sucked.
But we've seen this a lot because a lot of sporting events, school, other activities have been closed. I get bothered when I see that someone tweets, "Oh, tonight's game has been canceled." It's not been canceled; it's been postponed. The words are not interchangeable; they mean different things. Postponed means they're not happening when they were supposed to, but they're going to be rescheduled another date. Canceled means they're not happening at all.
Well, that game tonight's not happening at all.
Games last night.
Whatever.
There were
canceled.
but there were games last night. Like
It's
for
a
instance, the
different game, a
Spencer
different
Fort versus
time, a
Round
different
Point boys
day. It's an
basketball.
entirely new game.
No, it's the same game. It's
It's
just
the same
happening at a different
teams.
time. It wasn't canceled. It was just
That game for the night
postponed and
got canceled.
rescheduled.
I don't like the word postponed because that implies that it's still going to be played today, but at a later time today.
Yeah, I like. They're
Yeah,
canceling
I
it
agree
for
with
that
that.
day.
When,
That's
you
what I'm
have-
trying
when
to
it says
say.
canceled, then that's
It's done
finality.
for the
You know,
day.
it's done.
Yeah, for the day.
Because the baseball game, when it rains, it gets postponed because they may play it in 2-3 hours from now.
Well, there can be any time frame. It doesn't mean, just because it's postponed doesn't mean it has to happen the same
Postpone
day.
leaves it up for a lot of questions, a lot of parents calling in to figure out what time the game is. If you say it's canceled, all right.
Well, then
you
you
would,
would, if it's going to happen later that night, you would just say it's delayed.
Which is the same thing as postponed.
No, I think postponed is a little. I think it got delayed, which is that day. Postponed is a little bit longer
This is
than that.
great radio.
Cancel is just
So
done all
you
you
work
gotta
at Channel 13. Why
Joe
don't you can't
Peachy wordage
correct
and
it?
say, "We'll let you know."
do.
Okay?
Excuse me, because we just do school
We'll let you
closings.
know what happens.
No, we don't do cancellations.
Wait, so can you say school's postponed till tomorrow?
Well, no, that day of school was canceled.
And that game that day is canceled.
No, because it's going to happen.
So
That day of school
school's
is not
gonna
going to
happen
happen
the
again.
next
That day, but that day of school is not going to happen. You're
It
not
may.
going to reschedule that day. It's not going to happen at all.
That happens.
No,
from time to time.
you sometimes have the same
Not
schedule.
Well, it's not often that we get more than 2-3 days of school canceled.
I have never seen them add days back onto the school.
It's happened when we
Calendar.
were at Hilton.
Not when
Yeah, I
it's-
agree, Drew. I remember.
Last year, I think they had to because they had so many.
Well, I wasn't there.
Not last year. They didn't take it. Or at least
Well,
most
not
seasons
Hilton,
didn't take
I
it.
never remember them adding days to the school year
They
when I
usually
went to
take the
Hilton.
Friday off of Memorial Day. They make it a 3-day weekend. That's where the classic throw it at.
No, I think there was one year when they made us go to school on Good Friday.
Yeah.
But that was back when I was like in 3rd grade.
It's
Thank you,
Excel.
Tyler. Thank you for proving a point. I
In
don't
the
have
last
any,
decade and a half.
I don't have any pet peeves for the sake of this program. Anybody else? Bueller.
New Year's
Bueller.
resolutions. Shut up about them. No one cares.
When do you stop saying Happy New Year's? I caught myself 2 days ago.
I think we talked about this
People
last
really
year.
extend it, man. Yeah, I think we did. I think.
Yeah, I think it's give it a week and then you're done.
Yeah,
Okay?
I think once you hit that Friday after, you're done. After the work week. See ya.
I will move right into airtime this week. Who wants to get the ball rolling here?
You know, the St. Bonaventure Bonnies played at 11 a.m. today.
I like that.
I like the morning start times.
Efficiency.
What was so wrong with that? Like
Nothing.
I feel like that's a usual time for a college basketball game.
And you get it in before the college football or NFL football.
It's just, hey, when you're trying to fit so many games into a day's window, sometimes you got to start a little bit earlier than normal. There's nothing
They
wrong with that.
lost, so it doesn't even matter.
I would not have even watched that game, but when I found out it was a morning start time, that intrigued me enough where I actually turned it on. Same with the NFL games in London. If they're on 9:30 in the morning, I'm going to watch it because it's so there's a lot of novelty there.
Heck yes.
So I'm a big fan of morning start times. I can understand why college students would enjoy the morning start times who are actually on campus, but
No, they'll get it. They're not on campus yet, though.
Yeah,
They're fine.
Most campuses aren't.
but these games are made for TV anyway. So I say the more the merrier when it comes to morning starts.
I have no airtime this week. Michael?
I have nothing.
Joey, bring us home.
We covered it with the Bills, man. It was a great moment, beautiful moment, the best moment.
As we wrap things up here, we take a look forward to next week. What's on deck? Next week's Power Rankings topic is Mike. What do you choose? Are we surprising you here? Catching you a little off guard?
No. Last week's episode, you guys were talking about, I forget, Ted, whatever, what was your topic, Joe?
I think it was if you
TV
could bring
shows.
back any 5 shows and watch them
Yeah.
like you had never seen them before.
And you talked about how you did not like Ted Mosby. So I'm going to go with your least favorite TV characters of all time.
I like that.
I like it.
You guys had a good conversation about that. Natalie chimed in. She didn't like Ted.
I like that, Mike. Good choice.
Thanks. It was on the spot.
And
Proud of you, Mike.
let's go around the table, finish the program
Crushing
like we
it.
always do. What did we learn today? Tyler, what did you learn?
We learned that some people still don't know the difference
What?
between postpone and cancel.
Oh, wait a second. Mike, you're first.
Yeah!
You know,
Already
this
went.
whole
Screwed
counterclockwise thing. New year, new us. Mike, what did you learn today?
Truman, you, with everyone else, learned that the Peachies are not as good as Bills fans as everyone thought.
This is
They would
great.
not even stay home to find out and watch the Bills make the playoffs.
They hopped in the car.
They hopped in the car.
They were skipping town.
skipping town.
Joe, what did you learn today?
And Mike Vincelli is dead to me.
And Mike, what did I learn?
Wait. You're secretly bitter that the Bills made the playoffs.
Good for them. Right?
You
Good
wouldn't
for
go
us,
to the
good
game
for
with
them.
your mom, and you didn't want them to make it. So
Thank you for listening to the podcast.
That's why he didn't want to go.
yeah, you didn't want to go.
We'll talk to you next week.